What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. My name's AJ Gals. How y'all doing? It's time once more for the weekly show. This is episode 199. Really, last week was supposed to be episode 199. This is supposed to be episode 200, our big 200th episode. But I ended up canceling last week. Look, with everything that's been going on in the U.S. right now, that's not technically why I canceled. I mean, yeah, because Sony canceled their event, and that was going to be the big thing that we're going to talk about last week. You know, predictions and whatnot. But then Twitter and social media kind of got to me, kind of really started to frustrate me a little bit. And it's not that people are being political or they're protesting on Twitter or they're doing whatever. I mean, it doesn't annoy me a little bit that my Twitter account that I use to follow video game outlets and all this, video game news is now not, giving me video game news. I had to really try to find articles over the last week, but that's a different thing. That's a different topic. But the thing that frustrates me, it's like I said, not that stuff. It's actually the people who were so happy that Sony canceled their event, and then those of us who were kind of frustrated going, look, this is what we do to escape the world. This is apolitical. This is something that we do to, like I said, escape the real world and all the sad stuff that happens. And not it's not, I mean, like, yeah, we could be annoyed with Sony, but I think we're more annoyed with the people who are calling us bad people. That's my thing. It's just all that. Oh, you're a bad person if you think this. Oh, how dare you think that video games are more important? It's not that they're more important. It's just that we still want to talk about them because it's stuff we like. It's stuff. It's like I said. It's stuff that we use to get away from the real world and all that. It's a whole thing. I was really kind of getting depressed last week with all of it, so I just decided to take the week off. For the new show, and it's also kind of why I decided this week we're going to be a little bit more upbeat. So frankly, I've got a couple articles to talk about, nothing super big, and then we're going to watch about 30 minutes, I think is what Koei Tecmo released, of a new Fairy Tail gameplay, which game I'm really looking forward to. I'm not sure about a lot of you guys, but I keep saying this, I love the anime and the manga and all that, so I'm actually really excited for that. So we're going to take a look at that gameplay, all that. And like I said, try and keep things a little bit upbeat and all that. And I promise I won't reference anything that's happening in the real world after that little opening thing. It's just, I feel like I had to address it in a way, but again, I keep saying I always try and be apolitical here so that we can not have to focus on the real. It's a whole fucking thing. Either way, that's all done. On to the actual news. And the first topic we got here, Kingdoms of Amalur is coming back, baby. I am very excited about this. Although I did see somebody comments, I can't remember if it was an article or something on this. Somebody said the only way this is a true remaster is maybe it was a comments on this page. No, that doesn't have comments. I can't remember where I saw this, but maybe it was a response to the tweet that linked to this page. That's what it was. Somebody said the only real way that they can remaster this game is if they bankrupt the state of Rhode Island. Was it Rhode Island or was it Mass? No, it was Rhode Island. I'm 90% sure it was Rhode Island. Either way, it was the studio that developed this game. And again, another thing I kind of remember from this, wasn't it owned by Curt Schilling, the former MLB player? I could be off on that, but I feel like I remember that story. Either way, this game had a really weird development cycle with all the money that it cost to make. The company took out loans with the state, with again what I believe was the state of Rhode Island. If I'm incorrect there, please, you can correct me on the story. Go look up the story. It's really kind of wacky. But the company took out loans with the state of Rhode Island. The game came out, didn't sell as well because it's kind of this game is actually very well remembered. But I don't know a lot of people who own it, or really even talk about the game for as good as it was. But yeah, either they didn't sell as much as they thought they were. Just something happened. The company ends up going defunct, and then there were a lot of issues because, like I said, the loans were taken out with the state. It was a really weird court case and a really weird thing going on. Like really look up what was going on with the studio behind Kingdoms of Amalur. And all that. But either way, onto a happier note. Or I guess, like I said, it's more funny than it is anything else. But no, it's coming back. Like I said, this game is very well remembered. I'd be I don't want to call it a cult hit because I wouldn't say it was necessarily a cult hit. It's just I know so many people who played it. It's like I said, it's just it's one of those that I just think gets lost in the shuffle a lot when we talk about great RPGs because there's so many great franchises. And this game just not based on a franchise. It's just a typical fantasy RPG, and it does things so well. It kind of looks like early Fable, in my opinion. With the visuals. But again, it's very much you start off low level character, you build your character. Combat was fun. I remember I picked up the original recently, not too long ago. Just like out of a bargain bin or something. Again, I'm trying to remember the story. But yeah, it's just it's got tons of lore. Really simple but very well done character creator mixed with character progression. I mean, all the things here, ideal character, most intense combat, choosing countless combinations, skills, abilities, weapons, armor, all that, style of play, is all customizable. Seemingly integrate magical and melee attacks, take on the score of enemies in the grand fight sequences, finish them off with brutal fate shift kills. And the whole thing was, you come back from the dead at the very beginning of the game. Like, that's the kind of the big crux of everything. I mean, it's just such a massive game, which it from what I remember, it doesn't give you like a lot of direction. It's kind of one of those that kind of explore and be a part of the world. It's a really weird kind of game. It's really well done. Again, I know I'm being very wishy-washy with the way I describe it. It's just it's like I said, this game I think is way better than, I don't want to say than people give it credit for, because people talk about this game very positively. I don't think it's talked about enough, because I don't think it did anything groundbreaking, but everything it did it so well. It's a really fun fantasy RPG. I can't stress that enough. Heavily recommend it. As far as I've seen, I haven't seen a release date or anything like that, or platforms. Right now we're looking at something on the Microsoft Store, because this is what I found. But I think I saw Push Square talk about this, so I think it's also going to be on PS4. But definitely, keep your eyes on this. Really fun game, really worth your time. This is one of those that I would suggest day one. Don't wait for it to drop in price. Definitely check it out full price. It's a really cool game. I guess moving on to returning games and not buying games. Apparently, Australia is fining PlayStation $3.5 million for refusing refunds on digital purchases. Article Stephen Tailby, Push Square. Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe has been fined 3.5 million AUD after the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, ACCC, that is a hard acronym to say, charged the company with misleading PlayStation Store customers. The Federal Court of Australia ordered the penalty, quote, for, and I quote, for making false and misleading representations on its website and in dealing with Australian consumers about their Australian consumer law ACL rights, end quote. This stems from 4 customers who reported to Sony about having bought and downloaded faulty games from the PS4's digital storefront. Customers were told that a refund would not be issued after a digital game had been downloaded or if it had been 2 weeks since the date of purchase. This doesn't fall in line with Australian law, and I quote, consumer guaranteed rights do not expire after a digital product has been downloaded and certainly do not disappear after 14 days or any other arbitrary date claimed by a game store or developer, end quote, ACCC Chair Rod Sims states. Furthermore, SIE Europe had told one customer that only the game's developer could issue a refund and told another that a refund could be made with PS Store credit rather than money. These claims have been labeled false by Sims and go against consumer guarantee rights in Australian law. And I quote, consumers who buy digital products online have exactly the same rights as they would if they made the purchase at a physical store, end quote, Sims says. This is something that I really don't think a lot about, returning stuff digitally. I mean, frankly, because as I've made my shift to purchasing more digitally than I do IRL, I really don't think about returning stuff. I think the last time I returned something was Gears Tactics on PC, but that's because I couldn't play, because my PC couldn't run the game and record everything at the same time. You know, I couldn't run the game at a good enough quality, so I said, you know, give me my $60 back. And Steam did. I got my $60 back. Steam's return policies, actually, from what, because I'm trying to remember how Steam does it. It's Steam basically states you can return it as long as not X amount of hours have been played. See, now, though, I'm not sure. Does it, under the Australian system, like, does that mean? Maybe it's, look. I'm not. I haven't done a full deep dive into exactly what return policy is in Australia. Generally, I'm trying to think. I really never thought about what Sony's online return policy is, which apparently now we know it's kind of a clusterfuck. Generally, I think that this situation is how to put it, is a company has kind of made like a policy, sort of something that they're trying to make work worldwide without considering certain markets' individual laws, and I think that's what we kind of run into here. I don't know. I hope maybe that this will cause Sony to make their return policy, which I actually didn't even know they had a return policy, if I'm being entirely honest. I don't know. Make it a little bit more easier to navigate. Just make it people aware that they can return products even if they are digital. I kind of agree with the Australians that it seems like, you know, saying, "Oh, you downloaded it, even if it's broken. Nope, you can't return it." I mean, it's like I said. To give you anything more, because I mean, you know, they're claiming, you know, is the issue because they said the games were faulty, but if you download a game and it works fine, you just don't like it and want to return it. It's like I said. I think it kind of comes down to exactly what Australian law is. It's like I said. I think this could be interesting for maybe a policy change by Sony. The exact specifics, like I said, I keep coming back to this, the specifics of Australian law, because I'm trying to think how. The way this article's written, and I'm just sitting here thinking. So, does Australia, is it by law that you can that there is no return within this many days for a full money back? Like, do they have like specific laws about that? Like, what? Give me a quick second. I want to check something. Okay, so some of that stammering that you were, so I was trying to get some things like kind of to line up in my head there, because I'm sitting there thinking. So you can return. So in Australia, can you just return anything at any time for any given reason or whatever? But I think some of these quotes here, because this is the actual like complaint or the actual statement by the ACCC. I think this makes things make a little bit more sense. Let's see here. What's Sony told does not reflect consumer rights or whatever. Let me see here. Refunds under the consumer guarantees must also be given in cash or money transfer if the consumer originally paid in one of those ways, unless the consumer chooses to receive store credit. I think that's one of the big issues there, was where they were saying they could only give them store credit. It seems like Australia says no, if they paid cash, you have to give them that option unless they say yes, store credit. So you can't just, as a company, say you have to take store credit. So that's what that seems like to me. There was another one. Consumers can obtain a repair, replacement, or refund directly for products with a major fault from sellers and cannot simply be sent to a product developer. Okay, so again, that's basically they say that their copies were there was something corrupted in the file or something. I'm not entirely sure what was going on with them, but they say that there's something wrong there. Sony says they have to go to the developer. Australia. So yes, this is directly. From the way this is written, this does seem directly in violation of Australian law. Interesting though. I again, this is stuff I've never thought of. So and also reading that makes the return policies and everything in Australia make a lot more sense in my brain. Because again, I'm sitting there thinking, like, it just seems weird that you basically say, no, a company can't have like a return policy. They have to whatever. I'm like, but no, these protections that make a lot more sense, and they're a little bit more limited than what my brain was kind of telling me. That's why I was having so much trouble bringing everything into focus there for a couple seconds. Either way, no, I think the big thing that I've said like 8 times now, it's just hopefully this makes Sony really kind of rethink the return policy and even kind of put it out there. Hey, we have a return policy. But yeah, I suggest go ahead and read through this because it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's really all I got. Oh yeah, and by the way, just because I didn't mention it at the end of the last one, but the link to that page that I was just showing you, the ACC website, was actually the ACCC website, excuse me, was at the very bottom, was that hyperlink. If you want to find out more, go to, whatever, that one brings you to the, that page that I just showed. So, just if you're interested. I guess moving on to actual game stuff, Pokemon Sword and Shield Isle of Armor DLC release date, new details announced. Article Kevin Nizevic took a shot there at the name. Let's see here. The article reads, the Pokemon Company has shared a ton of new details about Pokemon Sword and Shield's upcoming DLC expansions, the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. We've already known that the former is slated to arrive this month, but now it has been given an official release date of June 17th. So yeah, that's fun. I get, we got, what, Desperados? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Desperados 3 the day before, this on the 17th, and The Last of Us Part 2 on the 19th. That's going to be a fun week for me. Let's see here. The story for the Isle of Armor. The Isle of Armor takes place, one more time. The Isle of Armor takes players to the titular island, which is home to an assortment of new and returning Pokemon not found in Galar proper, such as the newly revealed Galarian Slowbro. The story of the expansion revolves around a Pokemon dojo run by a former Pokemon lead champion named Mustard, who gives you I can't enunciate. Who gifts you the legendary fighting Pokemon Kubfu. I'm not entirely sure. As part of your training, you'll need to challenge either the Tower of Darkness or the Tower of Waters. After successfully clearing one of the two towers, Kubfu will evolve into Urshifu, with its form depending on which tower you challenged. Urshifu is one of the few Pokemon in Sword and Shield capable of Gigantamaxing, and each form has its own signature G-Max move. Single Strike style Urshifu, Jesus Christ, can use G-Max One Blow, while Rapid Style Urshifu can launch G-Max Rapid Flow. Both attacks can damage an opposing Pokemon, even if it's using Protect. We have new Gigantamax Pokemon in addition to Urshifu. The Isle of Armor is introducing 2 new Gigantamax forms, Gigantamax Venusaur and Gigantamax Blastoise. I thought also all the starters were supposed to be getting a Gigantamax form. I remember seeing screenshots of it. I'm not sure when or if that's actually still coming out. Based on the trailer above, it appears you'll be given one of the 2 Pokemon during your travels around the island. Gigantamax Venusaur's signature G-Max move is G-Max Vine Lash, which damages non-grass type foes for 4 turns. Blastoise, meanwhile, used the G-Max move Cannonade, which simply damages non-water type opponents for 4 turns. Okay, so pretty much basic stuff. Hey, there's going to be new Gigantamax kind of Pokemon. Have we seen what the Blastoise kind of looks pretty cool. I'll give him that one. All in all, Isle of Armor seems interesting. I like how they're kind of bringing a story to this. Only having this like one tower, I don't know. I think that you'd have like multiple. How many times do I have to say pause? I don't know. The video distracts me. Having one tower instead of like a bunch of different like smaller dojos around. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait until I really see how big this area is and explore it and how much content is going to be to see if it's going to be worth it. I love the idea. It's just like I said, I just like to I don't know. I'd like I guess it's just one of those. I'm gonna have to say my final thoughts will have to be waited until I actually see it. So, as previously revealed, there we go. The final form of your starter Pokemon in Sword and Shield, Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon will also gain the ability to Gigantamax in the Isle of Armor via a special meal called Max Soup. All right. According to the official Pokemon website, and I quote, if a Pokemon with great hidden potential drinks Max Soup, it will become a special Pokemon capable of Gigantamaxing, end quote. Along with a variety of new items and clothing options for your trainer, the Isle of Armor will introduce a handful of new gameplay features to Sword and Shield. One is called Crematic. You can feed the bizarre device 4 items, and it'll cough out a new item. Pokemon Company says some combinations might produce rare items. You can also exchange a new item called Armorite Ore to teach your Pokemon new tutor moves. Two such moves are Burning Jealously and Grassy Glide. The former is a fire-type attack that deals damage and burns any Pokemon that has had its stats boosted during the battle. The latter is a Grass-type move that has increased priority when grass terrain is in effect. Okay, so like I said, I really like the content that's being brought out. I like that they're pushing some more story. You know, we've met one of the 2 new, I'm going to say, gym leaders in the base game when you catch your Galarian Slowpoke. You met either Sword or Shield's version of this person. It's just like I said, I'm just not sure how much my question is more about how much content is actually going to be added. So I'm remaining, what is it, curiously optimistic, I guess, or yeah, again, that's I guess that's the best I got. Let's see here. Also, we've got details on the Crown Tundra. Pokemon Company has also shared some new details on Sword and Shield's second expansion, the Crown Tundra. This DLC will introduce a handful of new legendary Pokemon to the game, including Galarian forms of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, as well as two new Regis. Is that what it is? The electric type. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. And Dragon type Regidrago. The expansion also adds a new gameplay mode called Galarian Star Tournament. In this competition, you'll be able to team up with an NPC and take on characters you met throughout the game in double battles. And other Pokemon news, new Max Raid event is underway in Sword and Shield events. Every Gigantamax Pokemon, Galarian Ponyta, something, okay, just general Pokemon news. Honestly, the Crown Tundra has really interested me a lot less ever since we even found out about them. When compared to Isle of Armor, I really like the kind of like the martial arts thing that they're kind of going with. I really like the island feel more than the snowy mountain feel. I don't know, and I don't really know about a lot about what they're going to be doing story wise with Crown Tundra, if they're going to do any at all. But I don't know. I'm really more interested in Isle of Armor, which is coming out next week, actually. Yeah, I had to check my... I had to make sure I was right. I had to check my calendar. Yeah, next week. Like I said, not a lot to add, not a lot to say, but I'm definitely keeping my eye out, and yeah, actually kind of excited to delve back into Pokemon. On to our final topic before we watch the Fairy Tail gameplay. Apparently, Last of Us 2 spoilers don't tell the whole story. False things out there. Article Liam Croft push square. This is something that I've been kind of saying about all those leaks and everything. I think I'm kind of glad I got some vindication on this. Article reads, it feels like Naughty Dog can't catch a break at the moment when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2. From the unfortunate leak of various story details, right the way through to yesterday's claims of stealing musical arrangements for the game's TV advert. The studio must have, actually I didn't hear about that one, must have one big collective headache. It's those spoilers, which have quickly become the most controversial part of all of it, though. With fans reacting to cutscenes devoid of context a month before the PlayStation 4 exclusive is even planned to launch. However, according to Vice President Neil Druckmann, there are a lot of fake and incorrect spoilers out there in the wild that don't actually tell the full story. In a new interview with Eurogamer, Druckmann explains how certain storylines have been misconstrued, excuse me. And I quote, "There's a lot of the feedback that came out. Our take on it is you don't know, right? There's so many false things out there. We don't want to go out there and correct anything because that would be spoiling the game in a way by saying what it isn't. We're kind of saying what it is." End quote. No, I think that makes sense. This is something that I said around the time. Look, to everybody who was freaking out about some of the stuff that were in the spoilers or whatever. Like I said, I've never seen the spoilers or anything, but I've heard people say a lot of, oh, they're shoving in a lot of politics, they're shoving in a lot of this, that, and this stuff. And I'm like, look, and I was thinking, kind of my brain was kind of going into a bad place, going, oh God, please tell me, no, please don't, just let it be a fun game about Ellie going on a rampage. Until I saw just a couple seconds of another video out there who basically kind of brought up this idea that, look, everything that we're seeing is out of context. I mean, we've seen articles that say not only is stuff out of context, I mean, these were leaks from an early build of the game, so the story, might have changed a little, might have been altered or whatever. And I think that's kind of what Druckmann's saying here. Look, this is an older build. We're not going to tell you what's right and what's wrong in those leaks because that's actually going to confirm spoilers. But look, you're seeing things out of context. Little bits and story bits here and there are going to be a little different. They're going to be explained better, whatever. I'm still optimistic. I'm still stoked for the game, and it's kind of nice to know that there's a little, like I said, a little bit of indication that I was kind of right about that. I was right to think that, actually, I should put it that way. He then goes on to explain how Naughty Dog wanted to explore all the possibilities and situations a 19-year-old woman could encounter, no matter whether that's through sexuality and physical and mental violence. And I quote, "So if you somehow have a problem with that, well, then that sucks, but the story's going to win for... The story's gonna win for us." I don't know. It's ironic and maybe sad. I think that people will benefit the most from this kind of story are the ones that are yelling the loudest right now, but I hope there's enough in the game to draw them in and just normalize stuff that is normal, end quote. And oh God, that really, I know what I just said, and then reading that quote really, really frustrates me. Look, I'm trying to think how to put this. Just all I ask is you don't preach. But I've got a bad feeling about that statement right there. Because again, what people are mad about is not what you're saying. It's not what you're saying. It's how you're saying it. It's people see this as it's pandering. It's just flat out preaching at us when we're here to play a game. Look, if you want to make a statement or whatever, sure, you can make that. But do you have to be so overt with it? Do you have to be so in your face? It's like, we're not telling story right now. We're just being political. We're just making social commentary. That's what I'm sitting here hoping, that the message doesn't get ahead of the story. The message isn't given more importance than the story. That's what I'm saying, and I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. And again, that quote does not dissuade that fear. Druckmann and his team Druckmann and his team want the player to reflect on the feelings experienced in The Last of Us Part 2, touching on the fact that this is very much not comfort food. In exactly 2 weeks' time, we'll be able to see what Naughty Dog means. Don't forget to come back to play Push Square next week on Friday the 12th of June for a full review. In the meantime, you can check out 3 different previews. Look, like I said, it's just all I hope is that I'm not getting preached to. That's my whole. That's what would frustrate me the most. Look, if they're gonna make a political statement, they're gonna make some sort of statement, whatever. That's fine. It's like I said. I think the games that do that the best and that are the most thought provoking are the ones that don't just come out and slap you in the face with it. If that makes sense. That's all I'm hoping for. But like I said, that one comment just like shot my antenna right up into the air. Went uh-oh. Excuse me. Either way, all right. All the reading and articles are out of the way. Let's get onto a video. On to our final topic here today, Fairy Tail gameplay. This got released last Monday. I haven't seen it. All right, guys, on to our final bit for the show this week. Fairy Tail gameplay, something I've really been looking forward to. I haven't seen it yet because as I always say, I like to experience the first time with you guys, kind of give you guys my first time impressions here. Apparently, this is going to show Crocus and the Grand Magic Games. The Grand Magic Games. I'm trying to remember exactly how this arc was set up. This arc takes place shortly after Natsu and all the main cast kind of come back from the time skip. They've been kind of in their little bubble dimension after Zareth kind of tries to destroy not Zareth, it's the giant dark dragon attacked the island they were on for the S rank kind of test. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I can't remember off the top of my head. I need to go back and read the manga again. Either way, partway through the manga, there's a kind of like a time skip where all the main cast kind of ends up kind of missing, and so the Guild of Fairy Tail is kind of fallen on hard times, and during this time they've the world has kind of established this Grand Magic Games, which is to kind of rank all the magic guilds out there and help them find work. Fairy Tail, because all their super strong mages are gone, it kind of they've fallen in the rankings and they can't get good requests and good money anymore. Everyone comes back, then they compete in the Grand Magic Games again, and kind of bring the guild back to their former glory, which we know is kind of the point of this game. It's kind of rebuilding, rebuilding Fairy Tail and all that. The game is, pretty typical JRPG kind of stuff. You have your, your group of characters. You level up. You have all your magics and everything. You pick your party. The only thing that's kind of different, the combat's a little interesting. Because it's you have your just line of characters, but then on the other side, it's kind of like a grid system. I'm hoping they'll show a little bit of that combat here. It's an interesting system that I'm going to have to really kind of make my final opinions on when we play it. But either way, I've yacked enough. Let's actually start this thing.
Peggy 12.
Oh yeah, that's right. This game also will not feature an English voice track, from what I've seen, as annoying as that is to me. As you know, I very much prefer English voice tracks.
Master.
参加の手続きは済ませてきたぞ。フェアリーテールの力見せてくれるわい。
おい、フェアリーテールだって。あいつらが万年再開の弱小ギルド。
誰だ今笑ったの。
よせ。
どうせ今年も最下位だろ。
優勝はセイバートゥースで決まりさ。
笑いたいやつには笑わせとけ。くっそー。よいか3000万ジョピオーレ一のギルドを目指すため全力を出すんじゃ。このままではわしらの命を救ってくれた初代に顔向けできん。
よし。よし。
All right, so you kind of got to see all the characters kind of interact there. Like I was saying though, I really wish that there was an English track, especially because the voice cast for this game the show was really good in my opinion. Specifically, Todd Haberkorn, the voice of Natsu, is one of my all-time favorite anime voice actors for English dubs. Okay, yeah, just all kind of basic conversation stuff.
何
Oh, is that going to be a side quest, finding all those books, or finding, like, recipes or whatever? Because I saw them just mention something about recipes.
そうね。
You know, I'm kind of like half reading all of this, because this is just general filler dialogue. They're probably not going to show us anything too spoiler intensive. So I think the game right now is set up to launch next month. Okay, increase experience gain. You know what? Let's pull that back a quick second. Yeah, facilities. So it looks like while we're in Crocus and not at the guild hall, well, in Magnolia, we'll still have access to. Come on, brain. We'll still have access to, you know, like the request board and everything like that. So the game doesn't just, like, we don't hit this arc or this part of the game and then we're locked into it. You know, we can still have free roaming and still explore and do jobs and, you know, still do all the general RPG stuff. So the kitchen, so team members' HP will increase according to its upgrade level. Increases the amount of experience gained by inactive characters according to its upgrade level. So that's what those two facilities do. Number of items placed after battle. Okay. So again, this place basically acts as your guild hall.
競技は明日からのわけだが、いかんせん内容がわからんの。
毎年やってる競技が違うのか。私も一応過去の記録読んだけど、競技に一貫性がないのよね。
ま、出たとこ勝負ってわけか。バトルだったらいいな。
謎の魔力に謎の競技か。
エルザ、明日までに公式ルールブックを読んでおけ。
これを読めと。
任せて。風読みのメガネ持ってるから。かいつまんで説明すると、大事なことは3つかな。まずは各ギルドのマスターは参加できないこと。
ま、そうじゃろうな。
ギルドの紋章をつけていないものを客人として参加させないこと。
ま、それも当然だな。
各競技は競技開始直前まで秘匿とし。
If you can't figure out what a guild mark is, it's that you know, on the pink-haired guy Natsu, you saw the tattoo. That's the guild mark.
みたいだから注意してね。
出場者はすでに決めておる。ナツ、グレイ、エルザ。
ここまでは順当よね。
あと2人はルーシーとウェンディじゃ。
無理ですよ。ラクサスさんやガジルさんもいるでしょ。
だってまだ帰ってこないんだもん。
Was this part?
マスターは個々の力よりチーム力で判断したんだ。
I'm trying to remember. Was at this segment of the game, was Loxus allowed back into Fairy Tail after he was banished?
最後に注意書きがある。
Whatever.
参加者は指定された宿に12時までに帰ること。
12時？
いつの？
今日の夜中ってことでしょ。
ガラスの靴を履いたお姫様みてえだな。
12時。指定された宿。
Yeah, that's for the
時間があるじゃねえか。
preliminary.
せっかくこんなにでけえ町来たんだ。探検するぞ。
Sorry, that's I guess a small spoiler or whatever. That's from the anime. Okay. Ooh, this is the first we've seen that. I love Happy. That's Natsu's little sidekick. Okay, so this is the first time we've seen this screen. So customized team members. Okay, so I'm gonna guess the little flag means that's the leader, the person that you're running around with. So okay, so with this team specifically, got Natsu, Lucy, Arizon Gray, Level. Okay, it's typical JRPG stuff. I'm gonna guess it's you know, just general character stats. You know, level, experience, all that stuff. Attack, speed, defense, luck. Yeah, you see the elemental resistances and strengths and whatnot. So I'm gonna guess the actual magic that they have, the attack spells and whatnot. Not sure. I remember something about these crystals. I'd have to go back to a previous video where we watched some gameplay for this to remember exactly what they do, but I think they power up your magic. And again, I'm not sure what the musical note would be. So I know I just kind of broke down everything. I kind of wanted to go through that screen, see if there was anything unique. Guildmasters allowed. God damn it! I was talking about one thing. His extreme magic. Okay.
よしそうだな
Now, I've said this before with when I found out that this game was going to happen. There's so many really good animes that I think need video games. You know, Hunter x Hunter being another one of them. Does Hunter x Hunter have a game? I'm not actually sure if it does. God, this character.
よかったらお食事でも二人って
そういや腹減ってきたな
You know, the cute JRPG stuff.
リオン
大魔党演舞に出るんだってなグレイまあ優勝するのは俺たちラミアスケールだがな一つ賭けをしよう
Leon and Gray, they trained under the same master. They both use the same kind of magic, which you know, you saw it's called ice make. Basically, it's a magic where they make objects out of ice. I think Leon, from what I remember, he specializes in creating like moving like creatures. Like he'll create like a bird or something, you know, like a bird or a whatever, while Gray specializes in crafting objects. So, you know, like one of his big moves is called like Ice Make Hammer, where basically just creates a giant hammer. That's the whole thing. You know, so like I said, there was a whole thing pre-time skip where, you know, they had their whole beef and kind of reconnection or whatever. There's also Juvia, who she's into Gray. Gray's, you know, he's not really into anyone, and then Leon is into Juvia, so, you know, you got that kind of little I'd say love triangle, but it's really not a triangle because Gray's not into anybody there. But yes, I'm talking about the characters in the anime and all that, because really there's just not a lot so far. Not been a lot that we're seeing here. We're just kind of seeing a new city, seeing them run around. So we're getting the cute anime faces. Oh, that's great. Croc is entering the games. Come on, fight. See some combat. All right. All right. So this is kind of what I was talking about. This game's got an interesting combat system. So again, you got the typical. This kind of reminds me of Persona, honestly, with kind of like this wheel what's put on all the face buttons. So you have an attack, which is, as far as you know, pretty obviously a physical attack. Defense is defend you against an oncoming attack. Magic is their magic. Item, again, all of them pretty self-explanatory. Not sure what Awakening is, because I don't think last time I saw this game that really went into. And this is kind of like an ultimate gauge that's actually shared between each character. I believe there's some combos you can pull off with it. Again, combat looks really simple, but just wait a second. Okay, so obviously you've got the basic kind of magics, MP usage, that's all simple. Just a basic attack, wind element, I think that's dark, that sort of thing. And sorry. I knew there was something I wanted to say. I was kind of biding time. So you're seeing the range thing on this grid. Kind of you're seeing how that changes. And you'll see it now as she picks the move. See how all the enemies are actually picked on a different grid. It's weird because you guys are kind of set up in a line, but the enemy is set up in a grid system. So it breaks the mold a little bit. Also, you're seeing the little eyes over the characters. I had a feeling that was how many enemies are targeting that particular. So yeah, you can see that they're going to attack Erza. Similar to kind of like what Fire Emblem does with the come on, brain. Similar to what Fire Emblem does with target previews or whatever you want to call it. See, that's also something else that was interesting. We saw Lucy use her summoning magic, and she brings out Leo. Because the last time we saw the game, that was all that showed up. We didn't actually see the 3D rendered model show up and then the attack. So that's kind of cool that we know that that's going to be in the game. I know I'm probably making this way overly complicated when really looking at this. This is a very basic RPG, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the IP it's connected to. But I really the combat looks simple, but it looks like a new kind of idea that I think could be really fun.
Nani?
Gray and Natsu always competing with each other.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I thought that we were actually going to see they were going to do a bunch of side stuff. No, it looks like they're going right into the story.
シャルルと一緒のはずだし、迷子になるとは思えないんだけど。もうすぐ12時か。あんな小さい子がこんな夜遅くまで。夜更かし、悪友、不良。ああ、どうしよう。
小説書きはみんなこういう想像力なのか？
よう、差し入れに来たぜ。
いよいよ明日だね。
エルフマン、リサーナ。山ごもりから戻ってたのか。
かなり力をつけたつもりだったのに、先行から外れるとは。うわあ！俺も出て！リサーナや姉ちゃんにいいとこ見せて！
大和島部にお集まりのギルドの皆さん、おはようございます。これより参加チーム113を8つに絞るための予選を開始します。
予選だと？
聞いてないぞ。
Did this happen in the manga? I'm trying to remember.
多すぎるような。
予選ならば事前に通達しておけば。
I mean, the preliminary, the qualifier happened. I just can't remember. Was Elfman there? Because I remember Wendy being there. There's a segment of the games where Wendy's actually taken away, or she's injured. I can't remember exactly what happened again. I'd have to go back and read that segment again. But I'm trying to remember if Elfman was part of the team for the qualifier.
これから皆さんには競争をしてもらいます。ゴールは本戦会場ドムスフラウ。先着8チームの本戦出場となります。魔法の使用は自由、制限はありません。早くゴールした上位8チームのみ予選突破となります。ただし5人全員揃ってゴールしないと失格。そって と迷宮で命を落としても責任は取りませんので。大魔党演舞予選スカイラビリンス開始。
競争っつうなら急がねえとな。
待て、ゴールの規定が5人揃ってだぞ。ウェンディがまだいない。
ウェンディー
ウェンディがいなくても男がここにいる。メンバー変更じゃい。
仕方ねえか。ウェンディを待ってる時間もなさそうだし。頼むぞエリフマン。
任せておけ。
チームフェアリーテイル行くぞ。
You know, I really like the kind of like simplistic look of the game. How it's not the sharpest game I've ever seen, but I don't know, man. I really like the style. It screams that kind of like JRPG anime kind of thing.
さあ行くわよ。開け天下地球の扉スコーピオン。
Ah, okay. So not all of her summons have animations. Only, I guess it kind of makes sense that Leo would, because Leo is more of a he was a character. He was a member of the guild before they found out that he was a celestial spirit. It's a whole thing. So, like I was saying, I just given his backstory, it makes sense that he has an actual. Oh, okay, Virgo also has one. Yeah, it's weird why Scorpio doesn't. Yeah. Either way, back to what I was getting at before.
Oh.
The game's got a very simplistic look and kind of feel to it, but I think that's good. I think it matches the tone of the series, because I mean it's kind of what's really cool about Fairy Tail. It finds a way to be. It's one of those series that's able to be happy-go-lucky, but also serious, kind of all at the same time. It's weird. Did she have Capricorn at that? Yeah, she did. Yeah, never mind. I'm wrong. Sorry. Don't worry about me. You know, I've always thought that I think Ares' magic might be one of the most lazy made kind of magics ever. I mean, it seems that her magic is basically she keeps kind of like in another dimension all these armor and swords that she swaps at will. Though, you know what? I guess kind of one of the cooler things about Fairy Tail is the fact that magic is. I'm trying. Yeah, even Aquarius has an anime. Has a 3D model. I don't know why Scorpio doesn't. Back onto what I was trying to get at. Sorry. One of the coolest things about magic and Fairy Tail is it's very physical. It's not. I'm trying to think the best way to put it. It's Erza with her kind of swapping out her armors and swords and everything. Natsu, his That was interesting. Seen some cool stuff with the chains and whatnot. Sorry, what I was saying, but you know, you have Erza swapping out her armor and her swords. Natsu, his magic is, you know, basically it enhances his physical strength and his body with fire. It's not just, you know, it's not Harry Potter wands and whatnot. The mages are, you know, they're like fighters. It's an interesting take on magic and whatnot. Barely made it. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of what's really fun about Fairy Tail is it's just got such a it's such a fun IP.
参加チームの発表だ。名前に反した荒くれ集団フェアリーテイル。
ブーイングだと。
大陸中を騒がせた天狼組の機関によりフィオーレ一となるか。
気にするなルーシー。仲間の声援があればそれだけでいい。
ブレークブレークフェアリーテイル。
てかあれ。
まさかプレーフェアリーテイル。
But why is it introducing Mavis right now? Because I've seen. Well, I mean, she's a ghost. She was the original founder of Fairy Tail. There's a whole thing. She's a ghost that only members of Fairy Tail can see. I believe that's the explanation. But you know, you saw the label or whatever on that. She should have already been like known that she was here because the bit of gameplay that we saw that we've already seen takes place before this. So yeah, it's kind of weird to me. I love how there's certain guilds that aren't even getting characters shown. You know, because I mean, because Mermaid Heel had other characters, so did Blue Pegasus. Although I get it, you know, they're trying to what am I thinking? They've got to cut down on the number of characters and character models and all that, but still, it makes me laugh. Again, for context, that I feel like this is all I've been doing in this video. Context: dark guilds are basically illegal guild. You know, they work outside the law. As far as, you know, if like Fairy Tail's like a light guild, you know, like they're, you know, they kind of answer to like a council and all this. Dark guilds are, you know, illegal guilds that operate outside of that. And also, Raventail is ran by Master Makarov, the current leader of Fairy Tail, his son. So, you know, there's an extra level of things going on there. I love the anime faces.
ラクサスとか反則でしょ。
つうか つうかなんでミストガンがいるんだよ。
まさかお前ジェラール。
マジか。
今回からのルール改正により各ギルドは2チームまで参加できるようになっています。
そっか、だから参加チームの数が多かった。
冗談じゃねえ。たとえ同じギルドだろうが勝負は全力、手加減はなしだ。別チームとして出場したからには敵負けねえぞこの野郎。
望むところだよ、予選8位のチームさん。ガジルはだいぶ力をつけてきたぞ。
ナイツだって負けないよ。
それにしても B チームすげえ強そうだな。
さあ、いよいよ予選突破チームも残すとこあと1つ。最強天下無敵、これぞ絶対王子やセイバートゥースだ。
出てきたか。楽しもうぜ夏さん。
何ガンたれてんだこら。
ガジル、あれがフィオーレ最強のギルドか。
絶対負けるな。ナイツ、ガジル。
You can actually see anyone? Nope. Looks like they're just going through all the. Yeah, you're seeing all of the weird cat people. Pretty much all the dragon slayers have their own like little cat person following them around, called Exceed. So there's a whole arc before the time skip that explains them. And when I say dragon slayer, you saw during some of the combat, Natsu's magic is basically it's magic to help them to help humans kill dragons, where they take on characteristics. They eat the element of magic that they have to fight dragons. So like Natsu, he's a fire dragon mage. He eats fire, so that's why he breathes fire and can basically engulf his body in flames and everything. Gajil, he uses iron dragon magic, so he eats iron and all that. These two, Rogue and the blonde guy next to him, Sting. There we go. It took me a second. They're light and dark, or they're dark and light magic, respectively. He's a dark dragon slayer, and Sting is a light magic slayer. Oh yeah, also that blonde guy, part of the B team on Fairy Tail. He's kind of the tall guy, with the blonde spiky hair. There's a whole thing. He's an electric dragon slayer. So yeah, so all of them have. Well, actually, come on, Loxus doesn't have an Exceed, but that's because he's not a natural dragon slayer. That's again a whole thing. Sorry, I'm getting lost more in the lore than talking about the game. I'm sorry. No, all in all, I really do. I like the animation. The combat's really interesting to me. I think this is going to be a simple, fun JRPG based in an already existing property. So I'm not expecting this to break the mold. I'm not expecting this to win awards. But again, I thought it would be fun to, like I said, just kind of sit and take a look at it. So, all right, guys, there we go. There's the show. I know, kind of a little light on content, a little light on anything that really I think truly matters. But I don't know. Like I said, I was trying to keep it that way. I was trying to keep it a little lighter. But either way, thanks for watching, guys. Social media is down in the description. Like, comment, not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. More next time. Until then, my name's AJ Gills. This is Something Game Channel. I'm out.